Hello, beautiful sacred feminine. Thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to share a little bit about the wounded feminine, the unconscious grief and inherited trauma of the wounded feminine, as I talk about that quite a bit. And I just created a new workbook for you to help you deep dive into how this is showing up in your life. Top 13 ways unconscious grief of the wounded feminine is showing up for you and in your relationship. So really excited to be putting this out there and for you to start exploring how this is showing up in your life, to really start, getting into it a bit more, because I talk about it here on my channel, but I thought this was a really helpful way for you to see how it's really showing up in your life and to explain just exactly what I mean when I'm talking about unconscious grief of the wounded feminine, because I think that's kind of a new concept for so many of us. I think we're really starting to understand how we are carrying so many of the energies of our ancestors, and that we've inherited a lot of the unhealthy patterns that they were rocking out for so long, and it just kind of trickles down. It doesn't really trickle, it's more like a snowball effect. So we're kind of dealing with all of the energies and the traumas of our past generations. It's just kind of like turned into this big giant there's a motorcycle out there, this big giant entity really that we're trying to work with, and it's heavy and it's dense, and we're just like carrying around all this heavy energy that really a lot of it isn't ours. So I wanted to get into that quite a bit more and pick it apart for you. How is this showing up in your life? What do I mean when I'm talking about unconscious grief? Because if it's unconscious, we're not really thinking about it, right? But that doesn't mean it's not wreaking havoc on our lives. So I apologize for the motorcycle out there, but this is life on the road, right? So some of the ways, I know I talk about them. I've done some videos on victim consciousness is a big one. We can get really bitter and resentful about the way that women have been treated, about what's happened to us personally through our own maybe sexual abuse or trauma or experiences with the patriarchy, and we can feel really justified in our anger and bitterness around the systems and around so much abuse, thousands of years of abuse, and that I get it, but it doesn't really serve us to stay stuck in that energy. It's just like, it's more heavy, dense energy, and that's the repression that's actually really keeping us down. In order for us to shine our lights bright and to get our power back, to take our power back, we need to move out of the victim consciousness. So I did a whole video on that. You can, look back. It wasn't all that long ago. So check out my channel and watch that video to learn more about what I mean by victim consciousness and moving out of that victim consciousness. Another way that this is really showing up for us is very guarded and shut down heart. After being hurt so much, and especially going through our own trauma of our own lifetime, we're carrying trauma from our ancestors, and that's very heavy and dense. But then we take on our own trauma throughout our own lifetime and get into really unhealthy relationship patterns, which is another one that shows up. Really unhealthy relationship patterns, a lot of codependency, just again, there's bitterness and resentment there towards the masculine, regardless of how you are showing up gender-wise, or where you fall on the gender spectrum, what you resonate with. We're all dealing with masculine energies, and we deal with the masculine in our society. So not talking about just sexual relations here, not at all. So but there's a lot of bitterness and resentment towards that masculine energy, and that comes out in our relationships in a really twisted way. Really, so many of us are coming from these wounded places. The people that we're relating with and ourselves, we're relating from a fear-based place, from lack mentality, scarcity, not getting enough love, not feeling loved, not feeling valued, not feeling worthy, not feeling like we're cherished, so we not feeling seen. So we end up getting like just a little more bitter and resentful, and it kind of, as it goes along, we end up just kind of like these really bitter, angry women, angry at the patriarchy, angry at our situation, angry at our life circumstances, angry at our parents, angry at inequality, angry at so much. It's really easy to go into that place, and I get it because I've spent a lot of my time there. I spent a lot of time there, and I've really worked hard to move out of that and recognize how detrimental that is for me. Actually, those energies of anger and resentment really taxing on the body. This is where so much disease comes from, inflammation in the body. And we just do harmful things to ourselves when we're in anger, and we feel very validated, very validated. And yeah, I mean, it's something to be angry about for sure. But when we step back from that and we recognize what it's actually doing to us and keeping us from being in our hearts and keeping us from knowing joy and keeping us from being in our passion and our purpose, that's where it's just like, okay, I'm angry, all that sucks. And now what? How do we move forward? Because staying in that does not serve us. It absolutely does not serve us. So that's been a big part of my journey personally, is getting out of the grief and anger, because, it felt validated, and it really did. I felt justified in my anger, but it was really, really harmful, body, mind, and spirit, just bottom line. And now I just have so much more freedom and ease and joy in my experience that I don't have to be tapped down under those heavy energies. I get to make choices. I get to have really strong boundaries, so that's a piece of that too. And when we come back into our hearts and we quit externalizing everything, and quit blaming outside factors and outside experiences, we bring it back into ourselves and take responsibility for how we are showing up, and just take responsibility for being that love and joy that we are seeking, then it starts to blossom, and we start having a very different experience, and we start drawing in different people and experiences to support the higher vibrations that we are vibing at, really, because that anger, resentment, bitterness, grief, sorrow, low vibes, low vibes, low vibes. And when we're vibing low vibe, we attract low vibes. That's just how it works. We can be like trying to positive think our way all over the place, but when our bodies, minds, and spirits are actually resonating at that low vibration, that's what gets drawn to us, and that's what we magnetize, which is, I'm going to skip ahead here a little bit, but which is why the energy work that I do is so important. And getting energy healing for yourself, it bypasses the mind, because we can write positive affirmations, we can read self-help books, but knowing in our mind doesn't really change our vibration and our experience. And we are energy. We are made of energy. Everything is made of energy. So this is just, the physics that we know, like quantum reality. We are understanding now at a really deep level what we are. We're not just these physical, dense forms in this 3D world that we're completely disconnected from. No, everything is connected. It's all energy. Everything affects everything else. When we're vibrating at that lower vibration, again, that's affecting all of our reality. It's affecting what we see, what we think, what we feel, what we attract, the experiences. It affects how we experience our experiences, how we perceive them. So when it's a very clouded way to be in the world, these lower vibrations, and it really creates our reality if that's what we're feeling and thinking, and we're just wrapped in it, we are that. That's what we're experiencing. And so when we get in there and start doing the energy work to actually clear the trauma from your body, clear those traumatic energies from your energy body, it changes your vibration. It just does. And then everything starts to change. You start perceiving things differently. You're vibrating at a different level, at a different frequency. So you start attracting different things. And the things that are not serving you naturally fall away, because it's not the same. It's not a vibration match anymore. Does that make sense? So when you change your vibration and your frequency, you really start to change everything around you. You change your entire experience, and your relationships start changing, because when we're at that low vibe state, we're attracting other low vibe people that are also stuck in their trauma and their anger, and we're connecting from a wounded place. When we elevate our frequency, those unhealthy relationships start falling away, because we start seeing differently, we're experiencing differently, we're like, oh, and we have much more power and strength to make healthier choices for ourselves. And then people that are naturally vibing at a higher frequency are attracted to us, and vice versa, we're attracted to them. We're no longer like calling in those unhealthy relationships. That was a pattern I was stuck in for so long. It's just like, why did I keep drawing in these things even when I knew like that's not what I wanted? But I kept finding myself in the same patterns. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a new person, but it's the same freaking pattern. Why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep drawing this in? Because my vibration, even if my mind wanted to do something different, my whole experience was not different. My whole experience was one of attracting that to me, So until I changed my vibration, until I changed my frequency and started seeing differently and could start seeing more clearly, like, wow, that person before that I may have been, found really seductive and really interesting and appealing, no longer, it doesn't appeal to me anymore. Now I can see people and go, wow, that is not, maybe at one point in my life I would have been attracted to that experience, but now I'm just absolutely not, because I already know what's there, So that's part of how this energy healing works too. We just start making healthier choices for ourselves. So it's funny, this talk ended up being a little more about energy healing, but I was talking about the top ways that this unconscious grief is working for us, and I guess it all ties in, because this is what I'm so passionate about, is this energy healing, sound healing, changing our frequency, really working with it at that level. Other ways that self-sabotaging behaviors, when we are in that real insecurity, low sense of self-worth, we're doing things, we're making choices that are not healthy for us. The overeating, the not eating enough, really unhealthy relationship with food, because food is a living symbol of nourishment. That's what nourishes us. And if we're at this low sense of self-worth and not feeling valued and cherished and worthy, not worthy of nourishment and love, we have a really skewed relationship with food, and that can show up in a lot of different ways for us. But there can be like fear of food. I don't want to eat because maybe it's going to make me fat and then I won't be as lovable, stuff like that. So, or just eating too much because that's the way that we feel loved and held and cared for and nourished. We get comfort from our food. So we're trying to fill this void. So that's one of the ways that this shows up, and just a real, a real living symbol of that. Other unhealthy experiences or self-sabotaging behaviors that we can do, like too much shopping, too much screen time, anything to try to take us out of our experience and to help us feel that nourishment and love that we're looking for, because we don't have it inside. We're not tapped into it inside. We do have it inside, but we're just not connected to it. It's all inside. We are love. Inside our core is love, and I know this 100%. We're just carrying so much heavy energy, so much fear-based energy, that we're not tapped into the truth of our experience, which is love. And again, this energy healing really clears out that, so we can tap into it more of ourselves, the truth of our experience, and really start aligning with that. So that guarded and shut down heart, starts opening when we start, again, clearing out these heavy energies. So those are some of the ways that the unconscious grief is showing up. Let's see, I wanted to write a list because I wanted to make sure I covered some things here. The sexual disconnection and distortion. I've talked about this in quite a few videos, I know, but it's such a huge piece. Our sexuality as women has just been so tainted and perverted through this patriarchy, and the way our value is placed on our sexuality and our attractiveness, and how much sex we're having with people, if we're putting out how attractive we are, and we're really confused inside about what a healthy sexuality even is. I talk about that because they're trying to, again, through my own journey, trying to really get in touch with a healthy sexuality and recognizing we don't even have any models for that. We don't even know what it is. It's a very personal journey we each have to go on for ourselves, because we can tap into these things like, oh, healthy sexuality means we're having sex all the time, or we have a healthy libido and we want to have sex all the time. That is not what a healthy sexuality is. That's one person's version of what they think it should look like, and it's not that. Maybe a healthy sexuality for you means not having sex and just feeling great about that, totally feeling in your power. Like, I'm not interested, and that feels great for me. I don't feel pressure to perform or to be some way that I'm not, It is all across the board. And maybe healthy sexuality is having a lot of sex and really connecting with a lot of people and just sharing that love in that way. But when it's coming from a heart-based place, not from a mental, like, to feel valued and to feel worthy and to feel like this is what I need to do to get love, to get attention, to be held and cherished, and to be worthy, to be seen as worthy. A lot of us fall into that trap, like, oh, if I'm having sex or if I'm doing this, then I'll be valued and cherished and I'll get attention and love. Like, that's not real inside. That's counting on an external factor to help us to feel what we need inside. Anytime we're going outside, we're outsourcing our power and we're outsourcing love like that, and it's not coming from within, there's a problem. So we need to look at that. If it's dependent, that's codependency. Really, that's just what it is. And a lot of us, this might think, oh, I'm not codependent. I don't have a codependent relationship. Yes, when we're looking outside for something, someone to validate us and to feel worthy, that's codependency. And we start doing all sorts of things that aren't really fully in alignment with our truth. We compromise ourselves to get that thing, to get that nourishment, to get that attention, to get that love. And we'll confuse ourselves and think like, oh yeah, this is the thing. But deep down inside, we know something's a little off. And that's why it ends up turning into bitterness and resentment and frustration and disappointment, because it's not the true essence. It's not the true core. It's not real. It's based on, again, wounding and insecurity and not knowing our self-worth and our value, so, and it's looking to something else to help us feel that. So it's never going to work. It might feel good for a while, it really does. But when the truth of it is not pure, it's not going to work. So what is a healthy sexuality for you? What is it for me? I've had to really go into this and what feels natural for me, without all the programming, without all the stuff that I've heard about what sexuality is supposed to look like. What is my own energy? What is my own libido? What is, and it changes all the time. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, and other times I'm like, no. And then how do we communicate that to others? That's a big thing too. We're all kind of learning this as we go, and we understand, I think, pretty deeply that what we've been doing does not work, has not worked, and we just end up shutting down sexually. I see this happen with a lot of women. They just stop having sex with their partners because they don't know how to have the conversations, and they don't even know what they want. So how can we have healthy conversations when we don't know what we want? And that does take a lot of self-exploration and getting into new relationships, trying to discuss that and share. If we don't know, again, we're going to keep repeating the same patterns. So I think the human sexuality, female sexuality, is just this gorgeous, beautiful, amazing, powerful, potent, vibrant, unbelievably powerful energy. It is our life force. It is our creative life force. It is what brings us into this world. That is stunning. That is amazing. And when we can get that back for ourselves and get that back into its true essence for ourselves, our power, our light, our energy is just gonna, really, it's gonna be amazing, because it is so distorted. And that's been done on purpose, because that is our power, our sexual expression, our sexual energy. Doesn't mean we have to be having sex. Sexual energy does not mean we have to be having sex. It's creativity, it's passion, it's purpose. And that's, again, why so many of us are disconnected from our passion and purpose, because when we're disconnected from our creativity, our life force energy, our sexuality, we can't just shut that down without shutting down all of it. It represses, and then we have a really hard time connecting to what is our passion and purpose, because I've stifled it so much, and it's just shut down, and it's confusing, and I don't know, and we don't trust ourselves, and, so, I got on a tangent there. So yeah, really getting back into who we are. And this is a journey. This takes a while. This is some heavy stuff around the planet. That has been really tainted through the patriarchy, through all the organized religion, you know, they have really used this one to control us and manipulate us. And, you know, there's that whole Eve thing, the origination, the sin, you know, like that's put on us, on women. That's some heavy shit to deal with, you know, seriously. So we have to really dig through that, and the guilt and shame and punishment around our sexuality, you know, that we're bad, that having sex is bad, that touching ourselves is bad and dirty, we're sinful, we're shameful, we're evil, we're out to, you know, manipulate and corrupt people and society. I mean, oh my gosh. So on one hand, we're like supposed to be these super hypersexual people, women, like, whoa, that's our thing, that's how we're valued. But on the other hand, we're the ones corrupting society. So what the hell? I mean, is that confusing or what? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So there's a lot to sift through, and getting into this inherited trauma, unconscious grief, doing the energy work, and just really like, whoa, you know, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of questioning, a lot of really going inside and exploring and taking some time with it. You know, this is a journey. This is not going to be something that's going to be fixed overnight for sure with a little bit of, you know, a couple of books or something, because it's deep. We're made of these energies. That's again what this energy work is. Because our collective and the energy is on the planet, it's so heavy, and it's what we've grown up in all of our systems, in society, whatever society you grew up in, there's heavy, dense energies that we came into. So we're actually made of these energies. We're made of this repression and fear-based stuff, which is why we're walking around so heavy. You know, we're just like, ugh, and we can't get out from under it because it's ripe on the planet. You know, it's just like, ugh. So we have to be very conscious, and we have to do a lot of work to move out of it, and consistent work. We have to keep on it and keep on it and keep on it, because we're unraveling, we're clearing so much energy from generations, you know, lifetimes, from all of our ancestors, from so much heaviness, all the systems. It's a lot to work with. So, you know, but it is why we're here. I trust that. If you know that for yourself, I've known since I was a little girl that I was here for something big. You know, I knew something big was going to happen. I didn't know what, but I felt it my whole life. Something was going to happen. I was here for something big. When COVID finally hit, I was just like, thank you. This is what I was here for. This is what I came here for, to really like, it is time. It is time. We're breaking free. We're breaking it up. It's just time that the old systems are crumbling. And now it's time to move forward. I just felt such an ease in my body. I was just like, yes, now we can move forward. Now we can start doing this. It all got very clear for me. I don't know if you feel like that, but I've always felt like I'm here to push back on the systems. I've been doing it for my whole life in some strange ways, sometimes maybe not in the best way, but you know, something always felt wrong. I always felt like so repressed, and I'm like, this isn't right. You know, there's so many things here that aren't right, and I just can't be put into these little boxes that everyone's trying to put me into. All these systems is trying to put me in this box. So I've been, you know, the black sheep. I've been fighting back in my own silly little ways, and just like, you know, trying really hard to bust free and break free. And this energy work has been huge for me. That really kind of started changing everything, which is why I'm so passionate about it. But because, you know, once understanding, like, I couldn't just change it in my mind. I couldn't just like see like, oh, okay, I understand that, and now just change it, you know? And that's why a lot of the times we can read a book and go, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Yes, I totally get it. And then go on to repeat the same patterns and nothing changes. We can't just be in our mind about it. And that's when I started working with energy and started understanding and doing a lot of energy work. I was just like, that's when things really started unraveling, because there was actually, I cleared the blockages. It's like acupuncture, if you go for that, you know, when the needles, they're clearing the pathway so the energy can flow. So it can flow. I mean, think about it. If we're energetic beings and we've got all these knots all over and the energy's not flowing, I mean, it's no wonder we're all like, you know, like, I don't know what to do. Why do I keep repeating this same pattern? Because it's stuck. Because you're stuck in it. You know, we're stuck. When you break it up and you open the flow, there's ease, there's flow, there's a different way new energies can come in. Your heart can start like talking to the rest of yourself. You know, there's not so much blockages. It's huge, it's powerful, it's really amazing. And not that we, understanding, we also need that too. We need to work with all parts of our experience, body, mind, spirit, energy. We need to work with all of it. We're a whole. We're not just our mind. We're not just the energy. We're not just this, we're all of the things. We have to work with all of the things. So, I get excited. So that's what we're doing here. What else did I want to touch on? Let's see. The strange ailments in the body. That just piggybacks off what we were talking about. All these tensions that we have from our energy being so it's manifesting really strange ways in our body. Do you know that women are the ones having more of the autoimmune diseases that they don't have any answers for? Like, where is this coming from? Why is this happening? Why are so many women affected by this? Why are so many women getting ill? I truly believe, there's environmental factors, I know, and food is part of that, which is energy that we're eating, taking it into toxicity. But all of these heavy, dense energies, all the people pleasing, all the saying yes when we mean no, all the not feeling valued, the insecurity, all the tension and stress and the codependency and all the, the anger we feel that we're not letting out. We're holding all this anger. We're holding all this in our bodies, and our bodies are just shutting down because there's no flow. They can't really take it anymore. So we're just, it's kind of, in a sense, beautiful. It's the wisdom of our body that's just saying, stop. You can't take on anymore. You can't do this anymore. So it shuts down. It just shuts down. So you can't keep repeating the patterns in a way, That doesn't feel good. And it's not fun to work our way out of. I went through that myself, where my body just shut down, and it's just like, stop. You can't keep eating this food. You can't keep doing these things. You can't keep being in these relationships. You can't keep being in the world in the way that you are. It's not okay. It's not healthy. And my body just was like, really shut down. And that took, some years of climbing my way out of that, and started to make really healthy choices for myself, and really learning how to eat, and learning how, again, working with the energy, and just so many, and working with my practices, and a lot of self-care, and a lot of self-reflection, a lot of going internal, and just like, what is going on, and really understanding and learning about the world, and learning about all the toxic things that I was surrounding myself with, the activities and the people, and just like, really, it's a real wake-up call. It's a real wake-up call. So I think that's a lot of what's happening for women, and for so many people. There's just so much illness and disease, but it's because we're carrying all this heavy energy. So again, the energy at work just really supports that, and all of this process supports that. So I think I'll leave it at that, but I'm just so excited for you to download this booklet and go into this for yourself. I go through 13 of the ways that this shows up for us, and really get into it. And then you can just self-reflect and see how that, and there's a space for writing. You can write. There's journal prompts that, like, how is this showing up for you? And you can self-reflect and look at this, and just start, like, picking it apart. And then once we start seeing it for ourselves, then we can start making better decisions and choices for ourselves. And because when it remains unconscious, we're just like chugging along in our experience, in our reactivity, in our just heaviness, in our anger, in our people pleasing, in our shut down hearts, in our unhealthy bodies, repeating these unhealthy behaviors and patterns for ourselves. We just get stuck in it. So this is going to help you, like, just kind of open it up a little bit and see, like, oh, okay, this is how that's showing up for me. Wow, that's really interesting. Let's look at that. So, and then, so yeah, dig into that. I'm just, and let me know. I would really want to hear from you and know what's going on, what's coming up for you as you're getting into all of this. What is that? And wanted to offer you, my program is coming up. So this is my program plug, because the program is all about clearing these energies. It's 6 weeks of learning about this grief, learning about the trauma, learning about the systems and how they've repressed us, and learning, more about the unconscious grief and how it's showing up for you, but like really getting into it. And there'll be more writing, and we'll be having group sessions every week. But the important, huge piece of this is each week comes with an energy healing session to clear the energies. We're going to bring them up to the surface, and then we're going to clear them out. So we're going to really get in there. No other program I know of does this. The energy healing piece is a huge part. It's not enough to just write or to have group talk about it and, be in our heads about it. We've got to get into our energy bodies. And we're going to be doing ritual every week to really help you get into your own experience and really tap into your own spiritual experience that has also been really distorted in this society, with all the religion. We've gotten really disconnected from our truth, from our feminine energies and qualities, from our intuition, from our psychic abilities, from our caring in a healthy way that's not got a lot of strings attached. That's not a codependent thing. There's so much about women's experience that has not been valued in our society. So how do we tap into that? How do we tap into our own spiritual connection, into our own hearts, without all the dogma, without all the being told what spirituality is supposed to look like? Because I think a lot of us are confused because we've grown up in these strange traditions that have just really, there's not been much room for us in our experience. We haven't really been supported in that. And just, that's one of the things that's dying. The old ways are dying. All these rules around spirituality and how to connect to ourselves and to source, or whatever you want to call it, the universe, or just, for me, it's really just about bringing it in. We have everything we need. Again, like outsourcing our power out to other things, knowing that we're connected and all of this is one, just really kind of bringing it into our hearts, and seeing what naturally arises and transpires from that without being told how to pray, how to connect, how to talk, how to worship, how to connect. It's really such a personal experience. It's so personal. So you're going to explore and get to find out what this is for you more. And work with your ancestors. We're going to do a lot of ancestor healing because we've got to clear that energy all the way back, which clears it going forward and clears it right now, past, present, and future. It's all right now. It's all right now. So we're going to really do a lot of work with that. And that's a part of the ritual as well. So we're going to do a lot of healing for when we heal our ancestors and we clear their energy, it clears it from ourselves. We break those cords. We dissolve those cords, not break them, dissolve them. We dissolve the energy. It's no longer even there. And we're clearing it from the planet as we're doing this. I firmly believe that so many of us, if you're this far and you're watching this, this is you. We are here to clear the energy from the planet. We are filters. We've come here for a purpose. We are here to actually clear this energy, to go through this process, to experience the trauma, to carry the trauma so that we can move through the trauma and clear it. I honestly believe that that is what we are doing here. And that this is a really powerful mission that we are on to clear the fear-based energies from the planet. From ourselves, it starts here, then it moves out to the people that are around us, into the collective, from the planet. It's just clearing the energy. That's what this energy is about. We are filters. We are the planet. We are all one. We are part of this experience. As she is arising and evolving, we are evolving. We are all one. All of this is happening together. The light that's pouring onto the planet right now, all these solar flares that were happening. It's breaking up the energies. It's breaking it up. So we're just supporting this process in a really huge way and supercharging it. Let's really activate this and let's be that new earth consciousness. Let's be in our heart in love. Let's be the light that that we're here to be. Let's shine it brightly. Let's clear that heavy so we can shine and shine and shine. Let's find out who we are underneath all this stuff. Who are you? Who are you when you're not carrying all this heavy crap around? Who are you when you're not acting out these unhealthy patterns and, stuff that we've been given? Who are you beyond the limiting beliefs that we've been rocking out for way too long? Who are you? What is your beautiful, unique energy? What's your passion and purpose that You came here to express. And that doesn't have to be some grand thing, but just being in your heart and being in alignment. You know when you're in alignment, and you know when you're not. That's why all the distortion and all the, because we're not in alignment. And when we start coming into alignment, what does that look like? We're going to find out. It's going to be different for each one of us. Again, that comparing and contrasting to other people, like, oh, they're doing that, so that's what I need to look like. No, no, no. You are you. You are you. Who are you beyond all this crap that we're carrying? Who are you? What is your gorgeous, unique energy? I want to see that. I want you to see that and discover that for yourself. I know we all have some little inkling, but we've been trapped under these heavy things that we're just not able to like fully shine it. So, and I'm not saying by the end of this program, you're just going to be completely done and clear of everything, but you're going to have a huge leg up. You're going to have a really deep understanding of where your patterns are, and you're going to be clear of a lot of stuff. But you're going to be super empowered to move forward and start making really healthy decisions for yourself. And you're going to have a very different energy body. At the end, we're going to do this powerful death ritual. Death to the old, death to the wounded feminine, and a rising, phoenix rising from the ashes of that death. Phoenix rising, this new sacred feminine, powerful, empowered woman, supercharged. And then you get to start making the choices for yourself, free from all that, so much empowerment. So the program, this first start date is April 23rd. So if you're coming to this later after this, check my website for the new start date, because this will be running. I'm really excited to offer this a couple of times a year. So because it's freaking powerful. It's powerful. So, and if you're watching this before then, get to my webpage. Check out the page and see it's all listed there. I get into a lot of detail about what's going on here. So, and you can see, and there's a bunch of questions you can go through to find out if this is the right program for you, which I know it is. And if you're rocking out a lot of this stuff, download the workbook too, and start getting into that and see, and you'll know really quickly if it's like, yeah, this totally resonates, or maybe it doesn't, maybe it's not where I'm at, not my thing right now. So, you'll know. I'm so confident in the universe. It brings us exactly what we need at the right moment. So again, if you're watching this and you've made it all the way through, I think you're in the right place. So, and anyways, something sparked for you, right? You're definitely activated. So thank you so much for watching. I am just so thrilled to be doing this journey with you all. And you can tell I'm like super passionate about it. I know there's a new way. And I know that's what we're here for. So this is all to support that process. All of my sessions, all of my offerings, all of my I have new moon and full moon circles, drum meditations and rituals, and land healing. It's all about this, clearing this energy from ourselves. So this wounded, heavy energy, this traumatic, fear-based energy that we're rocking out. So check out all of that. Let's make some really big change here. Let's step into our power. Let's shine our light bright, and let's connect and do it, yay. So on that lovely note, I will sign off. So like, subscribe, comment. I would love to hear. Download the book, check out the program, check out my offerings, check out my healing sessions. It's a great way to come and find out. I offer a monthly sacral chakra healing session. It's a group session that really focuses on the sacral chakra. That's really supportive especially for women, I feel like, because so much of our stuff is there due to so much sexual abuse and trauma that we've dealt with, if not at a personal level, it's come through our family for sure, and just from society, it's just so, so again, passion, purpose, creativity, all held in the sacral chakra, and when it's blocked and stuck, that's not flowing for us. So helping us to really connect to our power and our purpose, and our passion and our love and our life force, our vitality, our just self-expression. So that's offered monthly at a really awesome rate. So I want it to be a good introductory session for you, so you can understand and see how I work, see what this energy healing is all about, and you can get a really good taste of distance healing, because it's a remote session. So if you haven't had distance healing before, just like get ready for this. It's really powerful and absolutely amazing. So again, clearing the fear from the energy body, clearing it and clearing the patterns, clearing the wounding, opening up just to so much more ease and flow in our whole experience. So check that out. That's one of the offerings too. I have a lot of stuff on my website. Go check it out. Thank you for being here. It's been wonderful to connect with you, and I will be back shortly. Sending love to you so much. Bye, all.